aspects of that design. So I can't speak with any authority for that. Question here?
You have a lot of hybrid uses, receiving device. What about the sending device? What about the possibility of having some device that is relatively expensive and somebody can buy, give it to somebody someplace else, and maybe then they send you the info and you can see what they're sending to you.
So the question is about the sending device. So you're sort of thinking like a capture device that's capturing reality around you. So currently the jump rig, which is the 16 megapixel, is either cheap or fast to do that. I don't personally have budget for 16 GoPros. That being said, there are a bunch of companies that are working on non-stereo 360-degree capture devices, which are a lot easier to create. You need a lot fewer cameras. The stitching problem becomes a lot easier because you just have a better local calibration of all the spaces there. So live streaming of that, I don't know that anyone's doing that just yet, but it's only a matter of time. Probably first with the mono devices, and then eventually, I think the jump stereo 360 streaming is probably only a matter of time. But I can't really speak to any building. Question for that? I only vaguely remember looking at their website a couple times. I believe they're one of those 360-degree mono cameras, right? Oh, stereo. Yeah, I don't know anything about the technology or how they do their stitching. All I can say is it's not a surprise to me that we have this vibrant ecosystem starting to emerge. That's going to be good for everybody. For content creators, for developers, for consumers. A diverse ecosystem of computing devices is good for everybody. There's another question in the back here. Well, again, I think I was looking at that the other day, and I wasn't sure if I could figure out how to get it to view those on hardware. Did you get it successfully working? Okay. If it's not there yet, it will be there. I'm sure of it. He says, double tap the compass. There you go. We got our insider view here. Double tap the compass. This is the secret code. Other question?
Yeah. Could you repeat the URL for expedition?
Let me just go back to that slide. Let's see. Making everybody nauseous just by thinking of these things.
It's actually kind of cool. The stream's going off. Sure, of course.
Yeah, I had a lot of slides and I went through them really fast. I did not give you the link to expeditions.
I think you can Google it probably.
Yeah, I think Google might be able to help you here. If you go afterwards, I can always give it to you as well. I believe that google.com/get/cardboard is the best place to start for the vast majority of these things. From there, you can get to just about everything. So google.com/get/cardboard. Somebody pull it up on your phone. Tell me if I'm wrong about that.
Question.
Yep. Question.
One of the things we're looking at is interactive experiences where people can actually project in a building or a room and have the cameras and devices, even holographic projection, showing other people so they have the feeling like you're there, but in a physical space where they know they're not there. Like we want to even look at walls where they can see for some concert stuff we're doing, they're behind stage VIP, but then they actually on the other side can like have feedback from those people. Hey, how you doing, Africa? So that you get the best of both worlds without it being assumed that you're trying to see like you're actually 100% there.
So kind of like virtual reality, co-presence.
An interactive one.
So
yeah,
I mean, this is one of the places, I was talking a little bit about social. This sounds like one of those specific niches that I haven't worked with much, can't speak to, but yeah. I think that there's so many opportunities for co-presence. I guess co-presence is kind of the word that we use internally for the social applications.
Like the robots at conferences where you can get the robot and have the robot drive around and you're there.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. That's the best one I saw at the what was it, the WOW conference? Yeah.
Speaking from my, my previous research experience at places like MIT, some of the really simple things that you can do to broadcast co-presence, this was 15 years ago, we were doing things like visual whole computation, where you basically just, you have a person in a room, you have 3 visual light cameras looking at them, doing background segmentation. And from those 3 cameras, you can get a very coarse representation in real time of their body, in motion. And you can, it's pretty straightforward. I haven't seen anyone do it yet. Again, huge open opportunities, they're just not explored. I haven't seen anyone do it yet where they're taking those representations and putting them in VR. They'd be a little low quality, but they're quick and dirty and easy to do. So, virtual reality co-presence, a lot of opportunities.
Shoot it.
Another question?
Yeah, no, in terms of resident environment, that you know,
Oh, yes, Tommy's good. I need to see if we can get him a phone before I gave him. So you did good. Great job. Yes. And I'm going to ask him to let us know if we can Kickstarter and go his trip. Because I know my buddy did the GoPro $10 million campaign.
So I'll repeat one of the answers that I was focusing on before, which is basically we're focusing mostly right now on hardware. But the other thing is, there's a huge, it's not, I don't know if these are gloves that you're talking about for interacting, or if it's the thing like the Big Connect. There are a ton of ways, if you have a Vive headset, those have spatially tracked motion controllers. There are a ton of different ways to interact with, to inject your presence into a virtual world. I don't know who the winners and losers are going to be in that development cycle. But different types of technologies are going to enable different types of experiences, and the diversity of different input devices, I think, speaks to the potential for virtual reality. I think there's just so much interest and so much opportunity to use these various devices.
So the person, you may not know this, but the person who asked this question is Ahmed, who came here from Tunisia to compete in the Summer of Apps. And his high school project actually won the Summer of Apps competition in San Francisco a couple of days ago. Ahmed, would you stand up, please? Big hand for Ahmed. This app is really cool. You hold your phone and you dance, and then the music adapts to your dancing. Beats come up as you dance. So he won the music edition of Summer of Apps up in the city. Great stuff. You should talk with Ahmed about his app after the Q&A session. Back to you.
Any other questions? Back here.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Is there a background that's required for getting started?
Motion, wasn't it? Dancing, music in motion? Was it Imagine Music? Imagine Music. It was Imagine Music.
Honestly, I highly recommend learning Unity if you haven't learned that yet. It may not be the fastest applications in the world, but the tutorials out there are fantastic. It's very well supported. It's really easy to pull in the Cardboard SDK to do development in Unity. So even if you're just getting started in development, there's so much that you can do in Unity without writing more than a couple lines of code.
All the top platforms, we build UI stuff, VR stuff, for everything. We want to Tango Hack with our software guys, Other World Interactive. We all use Unity because of what you can do from there. Even the Facebook guys have to use it. And
I'm currently using Unity every day, as I mentioned, because it's just so fast to prototype. I can give you the caveat about Unity, which is the first 90% of developing an application in Unity is like so fast and easy. You're like, this is amazing. And then you get to that last 10% where you really need to I need this custom shader, and I need to do this custom interaction, and I need to interface with this custom driver, and that last 10% can be really, really hard. So it's something to think about, if you have a particular driver you want to interface with, or a particular technical challenge that you know you're going to hit somewhere along the road, you need to make sure that Unity is going to be able to support that. But generally speaking, the best thing you can do, if you're a software developer, just like play, dabble, and Unity is such a great tool for doing that. Just like get in there and see what you can do. But when you're building VR experiences in Unity, it is literally like drag the virtual reality camera into the scene and like throw in some cubes. You're done. Like play. It's really a phenomenal development experience. Question back here?
Regarding the development platform, I write Android apps, so I was trying to look at the Android SDK, but it was really bare bones and there wasn't any documentation, very, trivial example. So is it easier to go Android route? Because I personally don't have the time to learn Unity.
Yeah, the first time I downloaded the Android SDK before I joined Google, I was like, oh my God, you're really kidding me. I promise you it's gotten a lot better since then. Android SDK with Unity, totally different experience. It's just like, you just throw in the camera and it works. It's honestly really amazing. It is not like developing for Android. But again, even the Android experience has gotten a lot better. If you haven't downloaded those tools recently, just download it again. It's gotten a lot
What
better.
are the pros and cons?
The only pros, I know the guys who have the second largest downloads after Google's cardboard apps, the Otherworld guys, they have 6-figure downloads on their cardboard apps. They don't even look at anything except the Unity and custom stuff they do with Android. I mean, there's no downside for using the Unity stuff. It just isn't. And it helps with the stuff, the custom stuff. Yeah, I mean, like, there's no downside.
Did you want to ask pros and cons of Unity versus non-Unity?
Yeah, versus Android.
It goes along the lines of the caveats that I mentioned with Unity previously. Like, if you want to do something really like technology heavy or very specific, you need, you're going to need to have like speech recognition or something like a heavy-duty library, or you're very performance focused, or you're very binary size focused. For all of those things, chances are you're going to have better luck doing like the Android SDK. If you want to prototype rapidly and move quickly, Unity just gives a lot of flexibility to do that.
The license.
Android SDK free license, Cardboard SDK free license, Unity SDK. If you're not developing things commercially, I believe that you can use the license for the basic SDK, the basic Unity 3 license for free. If you're going to develop commercially, I think that there is currently a.
It's for free. It's for
It sounds like it's free with caveats. So you can do like me and we'll just win a copy. So just go out to all those competitions and then trigger stuff and win a copy and you're golden. I think there's also a subscription model where you pay a certain monthly fee in the same way that Adobe has done with their software. Any other questions? We're getting right about 8. How about one more question? Yeah. The challenge with browser-based cardboard experiences is that it's tricky to get the data from your, where it's rendered by the PC onto your mobile device. I'm not saying it's impossible, but we don't currently have like an external tool to do that easily. Or I guess you were thinking, I think you're thinking like Chrome on your phone. I think there's a startup there. I mean, I honestly
And I'll fund
it. So definitely WebVR is working pretty well. And the stability has finally gotten where I wanted it to be for a long time. That's pretty cool. But I honestly have yet to see a build of like a WebVR cardboard application. Unity might be able to do that, but with enough tweaking. But I haven't seen it yet. I don't see any technical reason why you can't. How's that?
There's a great presentation on this by Tony Parisi from the VR meetup in San Francisco. He's got a whole web VR, and even the guys from PlayStation rebuilt their stuff using OpenGL and doing stuff with VR, and Mozilla supporting it in the browser standard. So check out the web VR meetup presentation by Tony Parisi. It goes in depth on everything people are doing. He's got an API, almost like a VR Twitter thing he's building.
So just to clarify, for those of you who aren't really familiar with WebVR, WebGL is the nice thing is that it allows your browser to access the hardware layer that does the video rendering, which is something that has kind of been a long-awaited promise. The drawback is that if you're doing WebGL, the language that you're using for that needs to be JavaScript. which, you know, I'm sure there's some JavaScript lovers in the room, but there's sort of performance issues, there's some pros and cons here. So I guess WebVR is basically built on top of JavaScript. I believe that Unity is working on a native WebGL like port. So it'll spit out your WebGL version of your game at the touch of a button that's built in basically JavaScript, but I don't think they're plugged in.
So, first of all, thank you very much, Rob, for coming here.
I'll be around for a while if people want to ask questions. Or come back.
Exactly, Rob will be here, just come up and if you have additional questions. Very important, you need to go there to that URL, bit.ly GBG survey and win stuff. You can win stuff. We learn what kind of events you want us to run here. Win-win. So please fill that out and make sure if you want to be in the drawing for electronics powered by Google software, make sure you enter your email address. If you have questions for Rob, come up here. And if not, drive safe tonight. Thank you for coming.
Any other, links or graph, tag people out of the door right now?
Suyash.
Next month, next two meetings.
Dude, oh, back you see, I had to meet you. You got me my
You got a
quantum.
MacBook.
Dude, I got more than MacBooks. I got a heck of MacBooks.
What did you get this?
I do keep them. I just don't carry them around. I'm a phone guy.
Before.
Hey, you know we're streaming, right? Suyas, the man who built the Oracle
Are you
Android
using,
tool.
Are you using what is this?
Google Live.
No, not Google Live. What is it? What's the new app that Twitter bought?
Oh no, I have Periscope. We use
Periscope.
YouTube Live because they auto tweets to Twitter, Facebook, and Google Plus.
You want to stop it now?
Oh man, come on, that's the cool part. Why would I stop it when we're having fun? This is the cool part.